Hey Cedar Park homeowners and future home buyers, I'm Joyce Peterson, broker and owner of Kopa Real Estate and a Cedar Park homeowner. And in this video, I'm going to review the most real estate statistics for Cedar Park, talk about what a slowing real estate market means for you, and mistakes I'm seeing home sellers and buyers make right now. Remember, I can't help you if you don't contact me and tell me about your plans in advance. I'm the only local realtor on YouTube who sells a lot of homes as a listing agent, which means I see what's happening from both the buyer side and the seller side more than any other realtor around. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, call, text, or send us a message so we can help you, and leave a comment about what you think is happening in the market. So let's review the Cedar Park real estate housing market statistics for July 2022. Number of home sales was down 40%, 94 home sales compared to 156 homes sold in July 2021. Homes sold on average for $265 per square foot. And that was up 31% over last year, but down compared to $289 per square foot in June. Average sales price increased 7% to $602,188. That was also down though from $671,332 in June, and the median sales price increased 1% to $526,500 compared to June 2021, but down from $581,350 in June. Homes sold at the lowest price was a condo in Buttercup Creek for $284,000, and the home sold for the highest price at $1,485,000 was in Cypress Canyon. And there were 6 homes that sold for over $1 million in Cedar Park in July. Smallest home sold was the Buttercup Creek condo at 1,022 square feet, and the largest home sold was in the ranch at Brushy Creek at 4,420 square feet. The home that sold at the lowest dollars per square foot was in Buttercup Creek at $193 per square foot, and the home that sold at the highest dollars per square foot was in Twin Creeks at $391 per square foot. That home sold for $400,000 under original asking price. Something I wanted to mention for this month is you don't want to multiply the average dollars per square foot times the size of your home to come up with your list price. This is only an average, so there's many factors that go into the value of a home, and it's not a good idea to use that figure. As of July 5th, there were 255 active homes for sale in Cedar Park, up from 209 active listings a month ago, and 95 homes under contract. So that's a large increase in active listings compared to only 40 active listings in Cedar Park on April 4th. Put all that in perspective, there were only 150 active listings on the market in Cedar Park on August 7th, 2019, the last time we had a normal market. Homes that closed in July went under contract in 17 days, and homes that are under contract went under contract in 26 days, and homes that are active have been on the market for 37 days on average. So the amount of time it takes for a home to go under contract shows the market has been slowing down. So as the market slows down, what does that mean for you as a home seller? Well, on average, it means you'll have more competition. Earlier in the year, buyers have few homes to choose from, so they can be choosy. That allowed many sellers with homes that traditionally would have sold at a discount to sell for a great price. Today, there are a lot more homes for sale. That means buyers have more to choose from, and we see them being choosier. Sellers will have to be realistic about price, and you're also likely to need to negotiate. So let's talk about what's caused the slowdown, because it sure has escalated quickly. And when someone asks me, how's the market? I first ask them, do they want the Disney version or the Jerry Springer version, right? And after that, I ask them what they've heard about the real estate market in the last 30 to 60 days. Because things have changed so quickly, it's important for me to know how up to date they are with what's going on. So if you haven't been keeping up with the housing market, it looks suddenly different than it did a few months ago. Today, there are fewer motivated buyers, less showings, fewer offers, and many more homes on the market. So how did this happen? Essentially, it's many of the things that we previously warned could cause a slowdown. They've happened, not only happened, but happened at the same time. So before I get into it, it's important for you to know, we're still working, we're still selling homes every day, and we can help you navigate through this new market. But you'll need a different plan. So contact us at 512-791-7473 or schedule a consultation to discuss your situation at copaseller.com. So let's get into what happened. First is interest rates shot up so fast. And at the beginning of the year, everyone anticipated interest rates rising. On average, experts were predicting rates would be at 3.7% at the end of the year. And as it turns out, that was way too low, as we saw interest rates shoot up from slightly over 5% to over 6% just in 1 week back in June. And although mortgage rates have fallen sharply over the last 6 weeks, rates are still much higher than earlier this year. The reality is higher interest rates along with higher prices and higher property taxes have made homes less affordable. And the housing market really started to slow in April and hit the brakes in June when rates did jump above 6%. Perhaps the real estate market could have withstood higher interest rates, but how fast it happened was a shock to the entire market. So why did interest rates go up? Long story short, interest rates typically rise when there is inflation. As I write this, interest rates have returned back to the mid 5% range, which is going in the right direction. But we likely won't see super low interest rates again until we see inflation settle. And regardless of whether you're planning to buy or sell, you should know it's not likely we'll ever see mortgage rates as low as they were in 2021. Mortgage rates close to 3% was an aberration. The sharp spike in interest rates this June was an overreaction to the other way, but you should know mortgage rates are closer to normal now than they were over the last 2 years. So the second thing is that more homes are on the market. Beginning in April, there was an increase in the number of homes, both resale and new homes. For almost 2 years, the builders were not selling homes until they were almost complete. Because they had a waiting list of 150 buyers, they didn't even need to list homes in the MLS. So what the builders didn't realize is that all 150 buyers were on waiting lists with 10 different builders. So they thought they had 150 buyers, but that's not what happened. So when they called everyone on the waiting list to say, congratulations, you get to buy a home, they had little interest. So prior to then, if they had a waiting list of 150 buyers, they would have sold 150 homes. This year, they may have only sold 3 homes out of that 150 person list. And at the same time, builders also became concerned about lumber prices coming down and other pricing. And so they decided to list a huge number of spec homes in the MLS much earlier than they've been doing. So in the short term, this is causing a glut of new homes on the market. In the long term, builders have stopped building specs. And so if you've been waiting to get a good deal on a new home, this may be the best time while they have a larger inventory than they will in the future. On the resale market, we did see an increase in new listings hitting the market. However, the real reason why the inventory of homes for sale is so high right now is because the demand is lower. Only time will tell how long buyers will be overly negative about the market for that to work its way through the system. The next reason is a fear of recession and what I call groupthink. So anyone who called me earlier in the year to ask if it was a good time to sell their house, I told them only if you want to sell your home for more than it's worth. And what I meant by that was part of the appreciation in home prices was due to buyers having FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, and making emotional decisions and overly aggressive offers. In our area, we have a large number of buyers who suffer from groupthink, meaning they can't make decisions on their own. And when buyers aren't able to make a decision without consulting with every family member and all their friends and coworkers, it was easy to see how a negative feedback loop could occur. And right now, a large number of buyers are holding off buying because their friends are telling them the market's going to crash. The 2008 housing crash was recent and burned into many people as a very real fear. And I've been to a couple of real estate conventions the last month. Both the people who are putting on the events that are from large brokerages are telling everyone prices aren't going to come down. But based on the supply and demand statistics of the inventory of homes for sale and the number of homes going under contract, that is too optimistic and not giving you good advice. What's really happening is prices have already nudged down a little, and we may see prices go down a little more. That doesn't mean that things are going to be similar to 2008. And you want to be sure that you're making decisions based on accurate information, meaning you should see how things really are and not allow groupthink to influence you to see things for worse than they are. The next up is a tech stock crash. One of the reasons real estate prices went up so fast in our area, there's no doubt about it, is because we have so many tech workers moving to the area. And many of these people receive a large amount of compensation from their company in stock. So there's been tremendous volatility in the stock market this year. No doubt some buyers have been afraid of selling stock at the bottom of the market. And that impacts real estate prices because buyers pull back from paying over asking price, and in some cases not having the money for a down payment at all. So we have seen improvement in the stock market in the last month. Stock prices are still down for the year, but they've been on their way back up. We have to be careful not assuming they won't go down again, but hopefully some stability, particularly with the tech stocks, will bring buyers back into the market. And everybody on vacation has to be part of all this. So have you been on a plane lately? What a nightmare. I mean, earlier in the year, I was telling our clients, I didn't know how things would turn out this summer. Something I was concerned about was all the home buyers going on vacation. Many in our area travel overseas for an extended period of time. And this was the first 2 years traveling was opened up for many countries. So it seemed like as soon as school let out for summer, everybody went on vacation. And hopefully you went somewhere fun. I know I've enjoyed seeing all my friends post photos on Facebook and Instagram of their vacations this year. Now that school's about to start, we may see more buyer activity. For our own listings, we're already seeing an increase in showings. Only time will tell if buyers returning from summer vacation creates enough demand to move the needle or not. So what does this mean for home sellers? Well, the market slowing down means you do need a different strategy. Everything from choosing the best of our 3 pricing strategies to making sure your home is positioned correctly in the market. You're also more likely to need to negotiate. You'll want an experienced real estate broker to help guide you in this new market, get you the best price, and have the deal-making skills to keep the sale together through a successful closing. And what does it mean for home buyers? Well, it's going to be tempting to time the market. Whether we're talking about the stock market or the real estate market, it's almost impossible to time the market. The only thing I can tell you is by the time your aunt who hasn't bought a home in 30 years tells you it's time to buy, it's going to be too late. So for both buyers and sellers, my advice is if it makes sense for you to buy and that solves your problem, you should buy. And if it makes sense for you to sell and that solves your problem, you should sell. The only way that we can help figure out if that makes sense and solves your problem is to contact us at 512-791-7473 or schedule a time to talk about your situation at kopaconsultation.com. Thanks so much for watching, and we appreciate your support.